This is the Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall.
Let's go nuts! It's Jimmy Nuts! Right out of the door!
With your hosts, Mark Martinez.
Because I'm the Mark and I'm awesome!
The Guru.
Today I'm going to break it down for all you simpleton sweat hogs listening out there in Can Crusher Nation. I don't mean to come out here week after week and toot my own horn, but toot.
And the English Professor.
It is I, the English professor from the County of Kings, speaking the English of the Queen.
Hey, this is former WWE superstar Duke the Dumpster Drosy, and you are listening to the Can Crushers Podcast.
And welcome to Can Crushers. A great show is upon you as we have no outline where we're going to go. And joining me today in studio is the glorious one, the glorious guru, Mr. Chad Piranha. Hey, it's a two-man power show today.
Yeah, John, the professor, is going to be visiting with family.
Yeah, I'm going to make major reference to that. Yep.
And so, we understand that, family, there ain't anything more important than family, period. This show, you're saying this is going to be a great show. I don't know. This is going to be a clusterfuck.
That's what I mean.
This
Overall, that's what I mean. A great with the quotations around it.
This is going to be as bad as a morning shit after you ate too many tacos the night before.
No notes. None. Note to be found. So, really no segments. It's just going to be... So, let's talk about the English Professor. Our very first sponsor to Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. 3 years ago, Mr. Dom Padalano is making a move to Texas. So he is down visiting John and his family today, and they're going to say their goodbyes as Dom's moving on to future endeavors. I know what he's doing. I don't know if he wants it completely out yet. He's moving to Texas for something that's really cool for him, going back to his roots. Dom listens every week. I know he does. Not to listen to his brother, for sure. To listen to me and you. So, that's that. That's where we're at. Dom, we love you. Best of intentions for you. I hope to see you prior to the move, which is within a couple days. So, best of luck. I know I'm going to see you because it's already in the works, but we have to keep it kayfabe on here. Moving to Texas. You've been to Texas, right?
Yeah, I was there for about 3.5 years in Abilene at Dice Air Force Base. That's a mixed bag of nuts was Texas.
Brazil nuts, peanuts?
Yeah, every nut. There's a lot of nuts down there in Texas.
Great. The Von Erichs.
There's everything down there. It was obviously the warm weather. We've seen what could happen down there this past year with the ice storm.
They got half an inch of snow and shut the state down. Yeah,
fucking crippled the state. Dom, don't buy your electricity in grids. Or otherwise you're going to be getting a $20,000 electric bill and there's nothing you can legally do about it. Texas was, you got to find things to do down there. It's not as easy. There's all kinds of things to find no matter what. Definitely warmer weather.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. I can't say when I got the orders to move from Virginia, which was my favorite place, down to Texas, I was
You didn't like Greenland?
We'll fucking get into that again at some point. I wasn't overly happy about going to Texas, because I'm not a fan of hot weather. But I got there and, you find things to do. Is it as pretty as up north and the trees and the mountains and more comfortable oxygen level in the air, stuff like that? No, but it's got its, really great points. I was able
Dallas Cowboys, is that a great point?
I got to see their stadium blown up, if that counts.
That's actually pretty cool.
I
was bummed that I was scheduled, sidebar, because this show is going to be full of sidebars. I was scheduled to be in Pittsburgh when they blew up Three Rivers, and then something happened. I want to say it was either like mom's sickness or something like that. That I couldn't, being scheduled, like I was going down to watch it. They didn't call me and say, "Hey, Mark, Three Rivers is blowing up." I wanted to go watch it. I think mom got sick or something like that. We were at the hospital all day, so I didn't make it down to watch Three Rivers. I'd love to see a stadium being blown up.
It was pretty cool. I was kind of chiding. I wasn't with my better half at that time.
Your better half.
Yeah, much better half.
We'll get on that.
I wasn't with Sue at that time, so I was just kind of chiding the Cowboys fans. I won tickets to a Thanksgiving Day game,
which is always
football
cool.
game, and of all teams that Dallas was playing, they were playing my favorite team, the Denver Broncos. Well, these tickets turned into they gave the wrong tickets to the wrong station, and they're like, "We have these tickets. We don't think you're going to have a problem with them." They were fifth row, 50-yard line tickets.
Not bad seats then.
Yeah, not bad seats. I could literally see the locks of hair and strands of hair of the sideline people, the players and stuff like that. So it was fun. The best memory I gotta say is everybody knows my mom passed away in 2012. Well, when I was down in Texas, Mom had always wanted to come to Texas, see the Alamo. Her favorite flower was the yellow rose of Texas, everything like that. Well, I ended up having to have shoulder surgery. I tore my labrum completely in half. 5 pins, 6 pins in my shoulder and 3 plates. And Mom's like, I'll come down kind of help you out. And that. I think it was more to get away from my dad at that point. But she come down, and after I kind of had my mobility back a little bit, took her on a weekend thing down to San Antonio, and she got to see all this stuff and everything. And that was basically the last real huge thing Mom did. And she always talked about it. She was always happy not that Mom was really happy person, but
she was happy when I was around.
Yeah, she put on that fake thing for, people outside of the family.
She was around me. She loved me. I was like a ninth child of hers.
She loved. She enjoyed
is what she loved.
Yeah, she enjoyed being down there. It was something that she always wanted to do her entire life. So it was a good time. Texas is Texas. Any place that you're at is what you make of it. You got to find things. Okay, some places really suck. Greenland. It's not fucking green.
It's not.
It's not.
I haven't been there, but I've seen
it's
pictures.
Fucking cold. I learned when I went to the desert, I learned to appreciate Texas's heat. Okay? At night in the desert, I felt cold when it was 90 degrees. I had to have an air conditioning or a heating on at night because I was that fucking cold at 90 degrees. When I went to Missouri, I got a I didn't care for the cold because it was a lot of ice and stuff like that.
It was a frigid cold.
Then I get sent to fucking Greenland, which is a whole new world of fucking hurt as far as cold. The warmest it ever got there was 42 degrees.
The heat wave.
But when the heat wave came in like that, you literally were so fucked up because of the turnaround in temperature. You're talking an 80-degree turnaround in temperature that you were out in 42 degrees in fucking shorts, flip-flops, and a fucking tank top, and you were comfortable.
That's crazy.
But yeah, there's our round the world trip. Don't go to fucking Greenland expecting to see green. Go to Iceland.
Well, this all started because we're wishing Dom well wishes in Texas and his future endeavors.
many well wishes. Be safe in your travels.
Get your ass back to Pennsylvania so you can be on the show with us again. You've been on the show once.
Been on the show. I've watched a couple of pay-per-views down here with the family and that, and he's been here. If there's ever somebody to wish, the best for, safe travels, everything, somebody that deserves it, deserves to have his dreams and aspirations and that come true. Yeah, definitely.
So that's our feel-good moment. Oh my God. So what did you do, Mr. Working Man, this week?
6 o'clock in the morning to noon, 1 o'clock every day, prepping, getting the store go. It's a rough thing. But keep in mind, those who don't know me, I haven't worked a full-time job since
30 years.
2016.
Or maybe not that long.
By choice. But it was different. Getting up in the morning wasn't too bad, but getting the store up and going, the poor store owner, the ceiling fell down in the fish area because the guy who did the work doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground. It was a different experience for me. We got everything up and going. Please, guys, look up Gun Guy in Brockway, just outside of Brockway. We got stuff for the kids, fishing, all the fishing stuff.
Guns for the kids?
Of course, we have the guns. We have guns for the kids, for the smaller little tykes. A lot of stuff. It's not just pushing the, gun area and stuff like that, but the fishing thing, it's good business. It's a veteran-owned business, as I found out. Guys just trying to help little guy, best prices on everything that there is, period.
That's cool. I'm not a hunter except on Hunter Call of the Wild. But fishing, Kel and I were actually talking about doing some, as I bounce off the table, Kel and I were actually talking about doing some fishing this year. And here come the dogs, by the way. So maybe we'll have to make the trek down there to buy
$10 poles. We probably got 500, 600 poles. He's selling them for $10 a piece. They're
there you go.
Fixed, professionally restored poles. He's just selling them. He's trying to get business, help people out in the area in these times and that. He's not selling $50, $60, $70 poles and stuff like that. Come and get a pole for $10. We got the cheaper reels there and stuff like that. Just trying to help everybody out. The only thing we don't have...
Do you have your license, selling the license and everything already?
We are not selling the license. The wonderful people who are in charge of that stuff higher up within the government want him to go in on purchasing a $12,000 machine, and he makes 50 cents per license.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's all these places make. 50 cents per license.
Not happening. All right, so we will go to Walmart and buy our license or someplace like that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Richie Del Greco. I got some really sweet autographed pictures from him this week. Chad's jealous of my Good Brothers one. I did pull the trigger. Kelly actually convinced me. There was a Kamala one. It was his last one, so I pulled the trigger on that for $20. That wasn't... Where am I going to get a Kamala sign something or other anymore? So... but also he sent me an extra added bonus, a Larry Zbyszko one, and now you get my old Larry Zbyszko one. It's a WWE Hall of Fame one. I got one with the Western State Heritage title.
What was Larry Zbyszko's ring entrance theme
I have no
when he was single? Come on!
I don't know. Hot stuff.
No.
That was Eddie Gilbert.
Tina Turner, simply the best. What an ego driven motherfucker to come down to that.
Yes.
We think a lot of stuff about, these songs are stupid, or these people coming down to this stuff nowadays. Simply the best. And it wasn't a shortened version. That motherfucker strolled down there like a cat that ate the fucking canary to this. What a dick. But again, Bruno saw something in him.
Yeah.
And look at how that went for both of them.
I agree. My week, here comes the wall, the curtain. I watched 2 wrestling shows this week. One being Fastlane pay-per-view. One being AEW. I didn't get to watch NWA like I wanted to. Both shows, the pay-per-view or Power. I read about them. I have no idea what happened on Raw, SmackDown, or NXT. But we're going to stumble through this because Chad's actually the one that watched them all. But let me tell you about last night. Chad's been here for about an hour and a half prior to recording, and he's heard all this.
I've learned a lot of stuff in this last hour and a half.
So we'll throw it out to you guys. We're not going to go as deep as we did. Holy Christ, Chad. Had a little bit of a family dinner last night. My cousin Becky and her daughter came down, and my Aunt Joanne. That turned into, the family event. My aunt left. Becky stayed a little bit longer. Mark decided, all right, we're not going anywhere. We're going to play video games, play some card games, this, that, and the other. Let's open the bottle of Maker's Mark. And then let's drink it all in about 2 hours.
And get pissed off when you finish it off.
And then get pissed off because Kelly's like, you're out. Why am I out of Maker's Mark? Because you drank it like a goddamn fish in water. Send Chad a text this morning. Hey, let's push the show back about an hour. As I hit send, somebody's at the door. That's why we needed the extra hour and a half for Mark to drink 3 cups of coffee, literally get
let the dogs out twice.
Let the dogs out.
Clean up poop because
one went outside and then decided as I'm taking a poop, he's going to poop right beside me in the bathroom, which is awesome. At least he knows that's where we poop. If we could eat his ass up on the toilet, that would be great. I feel better now than when you walked in. So I drank a bottle of Maker's Mark by myself. Well, Becky had 1 drink. And I mean...
in a watered-down bar type drink.
But she had to drive home, so it was very watered down. It was, like a 1 finger, not a handful like I was poured. She did try mine. She's like, oh, that's delicious. I'm like, yeah. She's like, I don't want mine that strong, though. All right, touche. I said, come here.
More for you.
More for me. But what a train wreck the night ended up being.
Yes, there was some running commentary, Mark and his wife, that will not be discussed on the show other than this part. There was a lot of information passed around last night.
Yeah. Apparently, my son now knows my life.
Yes.
And if you know me personally, you know that there's some stories to be told.
People say about everybody has skeletons in their closet. Not after last night, motherfuckers, he doesn't. And I heard this morning, and I'm just sitting here, thinking, man.
1, I should be committed. 2, my
you
wife
should be dead.
My wife should have killed me. And 3, I still have liquor rolling through my system.
That's what it's kind of...
But I didn't piss on the couch. I didn't need to be undressed last night. It just... They left about 8 o'clock. And apparently my life saga continued until 1:30 in the morning.
We do have to mention, people, I want you to get this picture on this. Mark being pretty well shit-faced. I mean, to where he think Al Snow could wrestle a 5-star match. He's going to mow the lawn last night.
Yep.
Thankfully, it started raining, and there was no way he was going to mow the lawn.
Yeah. Yep.
This-
That's where we were.
Let's.
And my wife came downstairs chipper this morning. Like,
Oh, that's because she could dog you out, and I'd laugh like hell and
And
say
that's-
you're a dumbass.
and that's the only reason. Like, normally she's sleeping during podcasts or at work during podcasts. But when Mark decides to do something fucking retarded the night before, she beats me downstairs to tell you the story so you can throw me under the bus. But this is not a story that can be publicized.
Yes, sir. This makes Chris LaRusso getting drunk on the live shows and
Jack.
passing out. This makes that look like he was drinking White Claw and got drunk after one.
Right.
This shit makes Jack Pollock look like the Pope.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about De Niro either.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been one of those evenings. I had a quiet evening at home watching wrestling, older wrestling. Had some pizza. Well, let's talk about pizza.
Yeah, let's talk about pizza.
I have this.
So it's not always me getting thrown under the bus. Did you drink last night, though?
No, I did not drink last night. Was not feeling the drinking, but was feeling the pizza thing. So I'm cooking 4 pizzas for me and my son. Okay, 4 pizzas. We're talking a little,
The Little Tony's ones.
Little Tony's $1.75 pizzas are my favorite kind of pizza. Because the true Padalano pizza is not in Ridgeway anymore. So I'm cooking these pizzas, and I don't pay attention because I'm swearing at something on the internet. And I burn them a little bit. Well, that irritates me because I don't like burnt pizza. Even when I'm drunk, I won't eat burnt pizza.
Right.
So I go to get these pizzas out, and I'm thinking it's cooled down a bit or whatever. And I grab a hold of the pan. Lifting the pan right up, one good fell swoop. Well, it wasn't quite cooled off. So I fucking jump. The pizza goes in the fucking air all over the place. Pan falls, bounces off the stove. The pizza's on the floor. The dogs are coming out. And they're looking at me like, well, you're a dumb son of a bitch, for one.
Thank you.
And 2, that fucking pizza's ours. So at least I didn't have to clean up the pizza. They took care of that. So yeah, I burnt my hand to the point of where before I could turn around to the sink to get cold water running on it, the blister was already popping up.
Nice.
And most people would be like, fuck that. I'm not doing...
Not
Eat
making another one.
a cold sandwich or something like that. No, it pissed me off enough. I got 4 more fucking pizzas out of the freezer and put them in, and I sat there watching them. People say that what's the thing about a watched pot won't boil. Well, I'm telling you, a watched pizza will not fucking cook in the time that they say it will. Oh, at this temperature, it's going to take 10 to 12 minutes. It was 25 fucking minutes before this pizza was done. So there's and I ate the pizza. I ate it all. It was really great. Except for when it hit the burn spot in my hand. So yeah, that was my evening. I didn't call people names. I didn't
Except
drink
yourself.
I didn't drink 3/4 of a bottle of,
No, it
or
was a whole
95%
Yeah.
of a bottle. No family disputes. I kept my mouth well, that's not
That's a
entirely true.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
Yeah.
We know how that... You never keep your mouth shut.
No. So, we want to talk about a little wrestling.
I don't know if we really do.
Well,
What
we
I-
got some things we need.
We do.
We need to talk about.
We do need to talk some wrestling. Let's just start with Fastlane last week, since it was...
Let's first and foremost. I think it's probably most important thing. Well wishes out to Road Dogg, Jesse James Armstrong. Suffered. It was announced yesterday that he suffered a massive heart attack on Thursday. There is no updates anywhere about this. which is kind of worrisome at this point. But what an entertainer across the board, in his own right. Part of the Armstrong family, the famed Armstrong family. I cannot imagine they've lost the mother and father within the last 2 years. Brad died years ago at a way too young of an age.
Way too young, yeah.
Best wishes going out. We hope for speedy and full recovery. We'll keep an eye on this for, Can Crusher Nation.
Yeah.
Just be thankful for, what you have, guys. We've seen
it happens in an eye blink. It really does.
So, thoughts and prayers out there for them. Everybody keep them there, and we'll keep you informed as much as we can.
Okay. After the beginning, sad way to transition, but we're going to transition. We'll start with Fastlane. One of the two shows I watched, Chad's going to have the meat and potatoes of the show. If I throw notes at him, that I have 2 notes, Fastlane and AEW. Do we want to go over match by match, or just want to do a summary? I mean, this can be a shorter show.
We can do. Let's go over match by match, just kind of.
At least for Fastlane.
Yeah, because I hate to say it, you're going to see a lot more of this shit coming up at WrestleMania. The same stuff you were seeing at Fastlane.
And I want to talk about WrestleMania at one point, what they have on the docket so far, because 2 nights. It's going to be a lot to fill.
Yeah.
Probably a stupid year to do 2 nights. Probably a stupid year.
Yeah. Nothing good.
Pre-show is Riddle against Ali. Retribution's done?
Thank the Lord. Ali's wrestling through an injury.
Which props to him, because it's a shoulder injury. Right?
Yes. I actually think it's a labrum injury, which, for those who don't know, the labrum is basically what lays over everything in the shoulder and kind of holds everything in place. If that gets ripped, torn, screwed up.
Piranha today.
Just because I
had it.
I suffered the injury, obviously at much less of a sporting equivalent.
It is. It's actually one that happens a lot in baseball, that thus it relies then on the Tommy John surgery and stuff like that.
But it was okay. Not a Riddle fan.
No.
Kind of seen this whole thing coming out of this. I
am happy for Mia Yim out of this whole thing.
Yeah.
Because I watched her in Rise and Shimmer and, those, and I've always been a fan, even when it was TNA and she was part of the Candy. Yeah.
Bitch Club, I can't think of it.
Yeah, so whatever the hell.
Beautiful People.
No, she wasn't part of the Beautiful People. It was her. I can't even remember who all was in it. But yeah, they had their own kind of like psychotic Beautiful People, essentially. I've always liked her. She's been talented, but she's been stigmatized with this horrible role right now.
Another one, and I'm glad, I hope this ends it and he comes back. The gentleman from NXT, Divakovic, he has the matches that he has, and then he gets thrown into this shit just because he's a big guy and because WWE writers don't know what the fuck to do with talent.
Yeah, his stuff a year and a half ago with Keith Lee was unbelievable.
Yeah.
They both come up, and Keith Lee gets somewhat of a push, and injured now, and who knows what's going on with him in the long haul. It could be something that he's not coming back from. And then Divakovic gets, I'm butchering the name sixfold, gets thrown into this, and it's bad.
Yeah.
Main show starts with the women's tag team match. This is one of the matches that I was looking forward to because we like all 4 of these. It was not good.
No, this was choppy. It showed that these four could not work together and put on a decently crisp match. This was thankfully
quick.
Belair and Sasha
That
did
slap
not
at
win.
the end, though.
The slap at the end, them not winning the titles, thank goodness, because it would have just been a title sitting there doing nothing. WWE has enough problems without doing that. Again, furthering WrestleMania.
Yeah. The legit, and I hate to say that, you know, with Sasha and everything, but her slap on Belair was a real slap. Like,
Yeah.
it literally buckled Belair. I'm like, oh my God, that is the legitest thing in this whole match. Shane was hurt training. We said this last week that this match wasn't going to happen. How were they going to buffoon themselves out of this match to push it to WrestleMania?
And they did by saying that Shane hurt his knee, and then he gets Elias to get his ass kicked. Okay, next match?
Next match we won't even cover. The IC title match, it was extremely physical. I'm telling you, I like this Apollo Crews. I do. Something has snapped in him that 3 weeks ago, prior to him being, you know, Nigerian, or, you know, whatever he is now, he was dry. His matches were even like, they gave him this little bit of a push, and he went from, remember Kofi Kingston when he first came out, he had the Jamaican accent, and now he speaks better English than me most of the time.
Right.
They did the opposite with Apollo Crews. Now he's got, I don't know how you pick up a Nigerian accent in 3 weeks.
I just
But he does.
watched Coming to America 1 and 2 a couple of times. I'm glad he needs to be a badass, and this is what they're kind of doing with him. I just not overly fan of the whole, you know, thrift store military uniform guys, them stealing Kamala's spear for him
Which
to
is
have.
getting bigger each week.
Yeah.
You notice that?
I don't know if they're adding the bones of his victims onto the spear or whatever the hell, but yeah, Big E's still the champion.
How long does he get this? As we're going to sidebar. How long does he keep this IC title? Does he make it a legit title?
He loses it at WrestleMania to Cruz.
Yeah, R-Truth lost the title during an Old Spice commercial, and then won it back during a commercial.
What was the next match?
Shinsuke versus Rollins. A match that they're pushing Rollins against Cesaro. Shinsuke's kind of in the mix of this as well. This was a
a TV match.
Yeah.
I mean, it
This
was a
TV
regular
pay-per-view
TV
for the most part.
Yeah. Just using Shinsuke as the middle guy. What a waste, but at least in these last couple of matches, this one kind of started off a little bit this past week's match. He's kind of wrestling like he did a few years ago when he challenged AJ Styles at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
For the title.
This is where it actually picked up for me. The next 3 matches, I was involved. I thought, holy hell, these are actually all of them. Because I'm going to probably get slack from the one, air quotes, match. But Drew and Sheamus, match of the night for me. Match of the night. They should have saved this for WrestleMania.
This was them two big guys just beating the shit out of each other again. Hey, shout out, you know, we always say they're listening to us on Can Crushers and stuff. Drew obviously seen our Can Crushers emblem with my face painted.
He did.
Because that's exactly how he had his face painted. That was the first thing I noticed. That was the first thing my 6-year-old son noticed. He was like, Dad, his face is painted like yours. And he's pointing up to a Can Crushers item that I have up on the wall beside the TV. And I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. I mean, maybe we could sue him for a little bit of money.
Why did he pick you, though?
Well, because
I'm
the pasty white bald guy, so maybe he felt a kinship to Sheamus by going with me. I don't know.
And, by the way, I referenced last week that kendo sticks were going to be used.
And they were.
Kendo sticks were used.
They were worn the fuck out on there.
And very little stairs. They were used, but very little. So they listened to us there as well. Because we had a week full of stairs a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Across the board.
Across the board. Legit for me, this is a match of the year candidate as of right now, being March. This was my favorite match between these guys. They've had great matches, but I loved everything they did getting thrown out of the Thunderdome. They clearly have to rip the Thunderdome down. They have to move out of Tropicana Field or whatever the hell it's called now, where the Devil Rays or just the Rays play, because shit, baseball starts Thursday. So the Thunderdome is officially moving. I think they might get to play have Raw there, but they have to get out of there by Thursday.
Yeah, I see them moving.
To where?
Maybe
where the Heat play, because basketball is over. Whatever the Air Mark or Air Mac or whatever stadium. So, yeah, they have to get out of there because baseball season's here.
Yeah, more on WWE and shit later, too. We got to talk about the big shit going on with them being on Peacock and the issues that are coming out of that. But that another sidebar. Yeah, they're gonna be moving all around.
Yeah. Next matchup is if you want to call it. Randy and Alexa. You didn't like it, did you?
Oh, it depends. You go ahead and start this one off. You knew what it was.
We knew what was going to happen. At some form, Bray Wyatt was going to come back. I didn't know that he was going to come back as
a fucking crispy critter.
Yeah, a crispy critter, a burnt marshmallow. What else did I hear this week? We knew something different was going to happen with Bray, right? But is this the way?
What could they really do with him? If they bring him back, you got to have something or another. I'm going to get in trouble for this.
Let me say this real quick. So the Fiend was burnt to death. Does Bray ever make his reincarnation of the Firefly Funhouse party show or whatever the hell it's called? Does he come back ever as Bray with his Mr. Rogers outfit on? He wasn't burnt. He's wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they could do. They could easily bring it back, ignoring everything else that goes along with it. I see it coming back at some point, at least, until I know WrestleMania is coming up shortly. I could see them bringing it back, and who knows?
Okay, go ahead. Say your piece.
Okay. Alexa Bliss makes me feel like a dirty old man every fucking week. She is so fucking cute, so bubbly, and what a psycho bitch she can pull off. This, although her work's I don't want to say it not entertaining, it's not as serious, but her turn and doing this kind of weird shit makes me think of AEW and our favorite Britt Baker's turn from a good girl image to a raging bitch.
Yeah.
That's what I see. The match itself, okay, I thought it was kind of funny when they did the clip with the fireball and everything in the ring. The Fiend coming out, Orton standing there, blah, blah, blah. This Alexa Bliss basically kind of mounting Randy Orton. That I knew was going to cause some shit. Did realize it was going to come from Randy Orton's much larger and much more well-endowed wife. So yeah, this match just kind of fit what it was supposed to do. Bring the Fiend back. The one problem I have with the Fiend costume it makes total sense. He's still simmering. I'd like to see what the fuck kind of...
That was a hell of a fire.
I was going to say, that's whatever they use to, you know, burn him with or whatever. If that's still smoking now, that's... I want to invest in that shit some way or another. But the one problem I had with his costume is when you looked at his face, you seen that he is as pasty fucking white as Sheamus is around the eyes.
Yep.
Here's everything burnt and he's fucking steaming and the costume fit the storyline, and then you see his big fucking baggy white eyes behind it. Just little details.
Yeah, put some dust on his face, or I'm not saying blackface or anything like that back in the day.
What the NFL players do,
right?
You know, as far as keeping the sun out of their eyes and stuff like that, the reflection, do something like that. That was, I mean, that's a minor thing, but just with something like this, you're going to notice little things like that.
Yeah, even in the dark. Daniel against Roman is the main event. I actually thought for a half a second, I'm like, oh man. We'll cover WWE here in a second across the board, but I'm like, they're going to put the title on and still make it a triple threat because Roman's going to want, I'm like, they're going to put it on Daniel going into WrestleMania, and that's the way that they're going to make it a triple threat because Edge is already guaranteed. Roman's going to get a rematch. Okay, that's a different spin. Didn't happen. And I was all right with the way it did happen.
I hated the overall ending of the match. I'm glad it just didn't go down to something, you know, simple like the Usos coming in and beating the fuck out of Bryan and Roman getting the pin that way. This was a good fucking match.
It really was.
Roman always, he can step it up as much shit as we want to give him and everything. It's really not deserving. He's being pushed. It's not him in itself. It's McMahon pushing him down our throats, or has been for the years. And that's what's ruined him. As far as a worker, he can still get out there and go. I mean, he took a lot of punishment in this match. I remember his first Brock Lesnar match. He just fucking laughed at Lesnar. He got bloodied, but he just fucking laughed, and that pissed Lesnar off for real. And Lesnar got more physical, and that added to their fucking match.
Yeah. Which makes great chemistry then.
Yeah, this match furthered. It broke out. Edge got involved eventually. Again, furthered the whole WrestleMania matches. That's what this pay-per-view surprisingly did. And every match was furthering something else.
And it worked. As a continued, we always say it's a throwaway pay-per-view, but it did its job. Out of 6 beers, I give this a 4.5 because it did what it needed to do. If we're going to break down match by match, there's a lot of weaker matches on this. But for the long haul, this was not a bad pay-per-view.
Yeah, it was a watchable pay-per-view. I'd say 4 out of 6. Just because you deep down you knew that certain things weren't going to happen. Now, let's say they put the title on Daniel Bryan. I wouldn't have given a shit what they did at WrestleMania. If they would have put the title on him at this thing, this would have been a 5-star pay-per-view.
Yeah.
To me. 5-beer pay-per-view to me.
Yeah.
And it was just predictable. You knew what was going to happen.
So I'm going to throw it to you what you remember on Raw and SmackDown. As I said, it's not that I didn't have time. I don't think I just made time because I played a lot of video games this week. I only drank a lot last night. I don't know what I did overall that I only watched 2 shows this week. I don't know.
I think Monday you went to bed really early.
Early.
We were talking, and I think it was about 10 to 8. You were like, I'm
whooped.
I'm whooped for some reason. I'm going to bed, and I was like, oh, holy shit. But there wasn't a lot. It, again, furthered things. There's Seth Rollins and Nakamura. nothing was really. New Day is trying to cause dissension between AJ and Almas. There just really wasn't anything.
And Raw hasn't been anything for a while. You and John have been right, so I didn't miss anything.
The only development that came out was Drew McIntyre came down and helped Sheamus after Sheamus's match with Bobby Lashley because they were all beating the shit out of Sheamus. Drew come down, kind of cleared the way. He didn't hug and grab Sheamus's ass or anything like that. And then Drew was like, I won a match. The Hurt Business wanted a match. Ends up Drew in a handicap match at the end. He wins, so it's 1-on-1, him and Lashley at WrestleMania. None of the Hurt Business are allowed at ringside. That's the only thing that that was the only thing come out. MVP might be there, but MVP hasn't really been
doing anything
and interfering.
Right. Did you watch SmackDown? I did not watch SmackDown because essentially I went out with the boys from the Garbage Crew Friday night.
A decent amount of it. Probably only missed about 15, 20 minutes of it. Again, just developing any storylines. Bianca got to slap Sasha back.
Do you think that was a receipt?
That was a receipt. And both of them look freaking good. Wouldn't be surprised if there's... Yeah, that was a potato. That was a receipt. Daniel Bryan is officially in the match at WrestleMania. 3-way between him and Roman and Edge. Edge is fucking snapped and just beating the shit out of Bryan with a chair. That was about it. Oh, he beat the fuck out of Uso with the chair. Probably lit him up about 18 times with chair shots.
So, as we're on WWE, before we take a break and tell you about Collar and Elbow and everything, let's talk about, we're 3 weeks away, WrestleMania? Yeah, as I'm looking at the calendar roughly. We have 8 matches thus far, and we're not going to break them down. You can find them on the internet. That's enough to fill usually one night. Okay, so we have to come up with 8 to 10 more matches because we have 2 nights of WrestleMania. We talked about this a little bit earlier. We have nobody that's a big draw. Is Edge the big draw for WrestleMania?
Oh, what?
And I hate to say it like that, but he's now back.
They had to. Who's the main event for the first night?
Drew and Bobby, I would imagine. The main event's going to be Sunday night of the Triple Threat.
Yeah, those 2 matches are split. The women's matches are split. I'm not sure if in those 4 matches or the 8 matches total, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are going at it.
So that's as I say, filler match. That's probably going to be a great match, though.
Cesaro and
Seth
Rollins.
You have to have the tag team titles on there at some point.
They are announced for night 2, I believe.
Both are going to be.
Oh no, I was thinking of AJ and Almas versus the New Day.
Okay, so the other ones have to be the Dirty Dogs defending against who from SmackDown? Probably Gable and Otis.
My fear with them not having a lot of matches is they're going to start making these stupid matches, less than filler matches, and there's going to be more stupid shit. More advertisements. Oh, good Lord. Are they going to throw the
Old Spice commercial in again?
Yeah, hopefully not. The Hall of Fame. Are they doing that the night before, or are they going to do it at WrestleMania?
That's going to be the night before. WrestleMania week there's Raw on Monday. Isn't NXT 2 nights? The TakeOver is 2 nights.
I haven't.
I think Raw is on WrestleMania. Raw's on Monday. Tuesday, I think, is the induction ceremony of last year and this year, and Batista's
virtual.
Is now not in the Hall of Fame.
Let's talk about the fucking Hall of Fame shit.
We will. I'm just run through the schedule. I think Wednesday and Thursday is TakeOver. and then Friday SmackDown, and then Saturday and Sunday is WrestleMania. So WWE's got a full card of stuff. A work week of wrestling.
Too much.
It is too much. It's going to be watered down across the board. TakeOver doesn't need to be 2 nights. I think that only hurts NXT. Main events, Mania is already hurt. With the 8 matches they have right now, it's not a stellar WrestleMania. You're going to add Skinner against the Outback Jack, and nobody wants to see that. Or, Coco Beware against the Brooklyn Brawler. Nobody wants to see those. Nobody. That's what we're going to get.
They're to the point where they're going to bring in and have Al Snow wrestling on both nights.
Right. Against Head and then Chad Miller the other night.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see either one of those. But yes, let's talk about the inductions this year. We get Bischoff announced. Okay. Whatever. The very first one, Molly Holly. Okay. I'm all right with that. Kane, we knew it was coming at some point. I thought it'd be the same night The Undertaker would go in, essentially, so they could both give each other speeches, maybe together. RVD, I've never been a huge fan. Not even ECW RVD.
RVD had Vince in the WWE by the balls in a good way when he had both world titles, and then a little bit too much of that funny green stuff came into play, and he, in a matter of a week, I think he lost one of the titles to one of the Hardys, and can't think on, did he drop the other one to John Cena?
I think so.
Something like that. RVD...
He lost it when he went to this last run in Impact or whatever, when he was doing the porn star type of stuff.
Yeah,
it was even stupider.
Yeah, that's him going into the Hall of Fame. I think still it's a good move. I mean, it's RVD. He's a good athlete. He had a really stellar career for the most part.
What about the next one now? You're excited about the next one. Excited, Chad. Come on. Get it out.
No, you can say it and then I'll go off.
The Great Khali.
What the fuck? What in the serious finger flying fuck? The Great Khali. What has he done?
He invented the Punjabi match.
In his prime,
he couldn't move.
He couldn't fucking move. Nothing against the dude. And it's not a racial thing or anything that anybody. No, this is not somebody. And I'll make a case for somebody that's not in, that absolutely positively should be in, but because he didn't kiss Vince McMahon Jr.'s ass, he's not. The Russian Bear Ivan Koloff is not in the Hall of Fame. Why? Your father had your most successful champion pick Ivan Koloff to lose the fucking title to. Multiple time tag team champion. You have the guys that kept WWE afloat that Ivan Koloff worked with or trained.
Yep.
All the champion. And because he left WWE and went and had such a stellar career in the NWA and those areas, you don't have him in, but you're putting a guy that you made a fucking Punjabi prison match that you couldn't see the fucking wrestlers in this cluster. I thought the Tower of fucking Doom with Kevin Sullivan and the Mummy and the Popsicle and whatever the fuck else was bad. You could at least see the fucking competitors.
Right.
The Punjabi prison, you couldn't fucking see anybody.
No.
But you're putting him in.
Yep.
This is why this WWE Hall of Fame means absolutely shit. It goes beyond the we have X amount of people we're going to put in. Okay, we got to have, and again, this is well documented across. You got to have a minority. You got to have somebody that's dead. You got to have a female. You got to cover the
90s.
That type of stuff, and you put this guy in. And listening to a podcast last night, the person brought up, and I never knew this, the biggest reason that Kali is getting in is because the YouTube, influencers out of fucking India have made such a big stink and a big push that McMahon wants to go for that little niche of fans and try to get them by putting Kali in. And that's like, this goes beyond the deathmatch bar wrestlers, shit, the very few that like that kind of stuff. You are literally a fucking YouTube influencer.
Yep.
Is getting a guy into the Hall of Fame. But how many years was it before Bruno came in? How many years? Demolition's not in.
They're never going to be in.
They're never going to be in. Oh, wait, that's right. That was an NWA guy, or two NWA guys. Yeah, I don't fucking get it.
Neither does Vince. He's picking people randomly anymore. All right, WWE wrapped up. Chad, let's tell them about Collar and Elbow, where you can get hats, hoodies, tees, masks, vests, eye patches, sweats, stickers, and maybe Alpha's jockstrap.
We're trying to push for head.
We are pushing for
we
head.
Want head
we need
on
heads.
We
on
need
Collar
heads.
and Elbow.
What's our discount code?
Can Crushers, all one word, capital C in can, capital C in Crushers. Chad, how much you save?
10%.
It's pretty much shipping, as the English professor says. All right, when we come back, I have some words on AEW. Chad will tell us about NXT, and then we'll see where else this shit show is going to take us, because we talked a lot about Mark getting drunk last night.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
Hey everyone, you're listening to Can Crushers Podcast with Big Time Bill Collier. Give it a try, give it a listen. You won't be sorry.
And welcome back to Can Crushers, show about wrestling that Mark knows nothing about wrestling this week. I'm in studio with the glorious guru, Chad, and sitting with his family today. If you just joined us in the middle of the podcast for some apparent reason, the English professor is hanging out with Dom Bomb.
You gotta take care of family, like we said. You gotta visit family.
AEW, NWA, and NXT this segment. How much NWA did you watch? Because I read about some of it. My goal was to watch all of it.
Wanted to get the pay-per-view, but there was an issue with my bank purchasing it that night. And then Mark, through work and stuff and everything, wasn't going to get it. Heard that it was good. Reviews of it, mixed. People are glad, but it's kind of like a new wrestling show. You have 2 or 3 people that you really know. You recognize that name, but you just can't get into it a ton.
I heard
you just couldn't really. The one thing that I did see the clip and brought tears to my eyes was at the end after the Aldis Aaron Stevens match. The shout out, the part for Josephus, the question mark, who passed away a short time ago. You could legitimately see the emotions and that from the wrestlers, especially Nick Aldis and Aaron Stevens. I'm looking forward to see what NWA, them coming back.
Rehashing nothing. I was excited about Chris Adonis coming back. He might have something left in his tank. I don't know. He wasn't huge in the WWEF at that time, but he got a little bit of a push. What's he have? My plan is it's $4.99 a month to get Power on Fight, I guess. So my plan is Tuesday night to watch it for sure, and maybe go back and watch last week's to catch on. I heard Brodus Clay, Tyrus, whatever, was rough. Essentially.
Yeah. Well, the big guys like that, and the mobility issues and things like that, and not being active. Again, I want to see them. Okay, we're going to bring these guys back, see what they can do. I'm excited for it because I think NWA, out of any televised wrestling show, this pandemic screwed them
hard.
They were, we were fixing for the Marty Scurll Nick Aldis rematch where, Scurll was gonna, if he didn't fucking win, he was gonna pay the fans in attendance their fucking money back, and everything. And it just, they got the biggest kick to the nuts in the wrestling industry.
Camille, the new number one contender to the NWA women's title. So
with a surprising win over Thunder Rosa, to me, that was the biggest shock of the entire night when I saw that, and I was like,
but does that plays into your conspiracy, your theory, or whatever, that Deeb, Rosa, both on AEW a lot? Does Camille make her way over to AEW? That's where that title's been defended for the last year.
Why not? Piggyback off, have your, Billy Corrigan has a lot of money. Let him have his little thing on the side and stuff like that. Bring the talent in. This can't hurt anybody.
No, I agree.
This talent exchange. That's all there is with that.
Yeah, we'll see what NWA does. We'll cover it more next week when I actually watch both of them. NXT, I'll let you run through that real quick. I know the big thing was Cole and O'Reilly, they're signing, right?
Yes. You want to see how to have a contract signing. You want to see how to talk and not over, fucking sell things. Two believable guys. If I didn't know what I know about wrestling, I'm not going to use the word, but if I didn't know what everybody knows about wrestling, and you see this, you would seriously think these guys are going to fucking kill each other when this match happens. I will go on record. There's no reason that this should not be match of the year over anything that we've seen so far or anything that they could possibly do the rest of the year. This match should go above Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly. This should go above Finn Balor and Adam Cole. This should be match of the year. Let these guys, I don't care who has the world title or the NXT title at this point.
Yeah.
Let these guys tear it down. Let them tear it down. We know Adam Cole's headed towards another NXT title match at some point relatively soon. Let these guys tear it down.
I agree. AEW. Did you watch a lot of this?
Yes.
I did too. All of it, in fact. You're going to hate me. I like the Omega and Seidel match.
I like the Seidel match.
I still can't get you to say it.
That fucking curly-haired
guy.
The wrestler type from the movie, the wrestler-looking dude. I've just seen so much. I just think he's supported. Everybody makes him look better than he fucking is. I just don't like anything that the guy brings to the table until he's getting his ass kicked. When he gets his ass kicked, you're going to see a happy fat fucker up on 400 Rock Street.
Celebrating.
I
like the commentary in this match. Everything Don Callis said, all three of the AEW announcers did not care. They made a point to say, shut up, shut up, shut up. I don't care. Shut up. That little shtick, I was cracking up.
Yeah, the insults back and forth. Tony Schiavone, I don't know if there's some real fucking heat there.
Right.
Because I've never seen this side of Schiavone. He's asshole. You're nothing but a little bitch. Blah, blah, blah. JR calls him calls Callis an asshole this week. Excalibur. Callis makes a comment to him about, oh yeah, you're not even wrestling anymore, and you still wear your mask to to do your announcing and stuff like that. And Excalibur is like, well, if I had a face like fucking yours, I'd still wear a mask when I went to bed. I was like, what? Damn!
That was great. I love that. Hangman fought Cesaro Bonnet or whatever. This was a remake of Tom Brandy. Salvatore Sincere. I'm like, why did they grab him from the 90s all of a sudden?
I was like, who in the fuck is that guy? Why do I know those names? And then I was like,
instantly thought about Salvatore Sincere, Tom Brandy. He's now the Patriot. He's bought that from Del Welks now. I'm like, oh man, thank God Hangman made this quick and easy.
Yeah.
The Archer promo to Sting. I'm losing anything I had for Archer because they're making him not this murder hawk monster anymore.
I said that making him any kind of good guy or anything like that was totally against what he should be used. He's a big guy. He should be beaten the fuck. He should be a monster.
Get ready for our praise and glory of Britt Baker of the week because her promo got Mick Foley pissed off.
What a bitch. Oh my God. I was like, she comes out and I was like, okay, this ain't going to be nice. And then, she has that smile and oh my God, what a beautiful smile. But that aside, and then she just, oh, thanks. Yeah, what you took 20 years to do, I did in one night.
Right.
No crack in character. No, nothing. It was just like a matter of fact. It was like the fucking IRS taking money from you and not giving a shit is the way she delivered that fucking promo. But you know what was funny about it? I don't know if you noticed this. We obviously know it's the show.
Right.
What was Britt wearing around her waist?
A flannel.
A fucking flannel shirt.
The same flannel Mick Foley wears. What? It's not even like a green one.
What a backhanded fucking way of paying tribute to somebody and something you would not fucking notice looking at anybody, almost anybody else. Britt's a beautiful woman. You can't help but look. I noticed that and I was like, that little bitch.
Right.
That was my first thought. That was before she totally slammed him.
Yeah. Did you see Britt talked to the Observer or PWI or whatever? I posted it up on Facebook earlier this week. Again, I can't tell you what day, but she comes out and says, man, I can't wait to me and Adam work together in some company, but I'm never leaving AEW. She actually just says it. So it's pretty much saying, hey, when Adam's done with his contract, he's coming to AEW in 2024. Essentially, that's what she says.
That was pretty fucking good there. She don't care.
No.
She doesn't give a shit. And this is, you can say, oh, this is a not killing kayfabe. You can say that this is the what is it, the inner language, or the profession language and stuff like that. She just doesn't give a shit.
No,
and it's fucking working.
It is. But that's not her. That's not even character. That's just her being. Again, we know Britt, and Britt has opened about the wrestling business. If you are in her inner circle,
this is the kind of stuff that I'll get criticized for. This is the kind of stuff that I like. That gives you that little inner eye into the business and a little backhanded shit. But this is gold, where that fucking idiot and the two little midget brothers, the shit that they do, that ruins wrestling. That ruins a fan's approach to it and what you want to see. Britt doing shit like this, she could come out on interviews, do interviews, wrestle once a fucking month, and I'll look forward every week to seeing what kind of backhanded bitch, knife in the back, twisting shit is she gonna fucking pull this week.
Yeah, she doesn't even need to be in the ring anymore. Just here's the
we got to make it clear we want her in the ring,
right?
But this is one aspect of any wrestling show that you look for. What shit is she gonna pull? This week.
Here you go. Here's Mike ready to go. Christian talking shop about the youngsters and helping this and that, and then Kazarian challenge. It's going to be good to see Christian back in the ring. You know, shake off some rust.
Somebody that he's familiar with. He's, been around 20-some plus years. Kind of like little digs that, they kind of put in on each other without busting character. But again, Kazarian might not. He doesn't get the credit that he deserves.
Not
but
at all.
Fucking he's awesome. He's awesome.
The Pinnacle, FTR, and Spears fight the Varsity Blondes and Martin. Right thing happened. They beat the snot out of them. Jeez, I'm losing my voice. MJF addresses the Inner Circle. It wasn't too short. It wasn't too long. It was just enough. It was maybe getting, and then he dropped it. Perfect.
Yeah, and he's giving him a present this week, he announced.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Hopefully it's better fitting stuff than what he gave Sammy Guevara.
Right. I don't know if I really care what Team Taz is doing right now. You don't either.
Absolutely nothing. There's nobody on there other than
I love
Brian
Cage.
Cage hurting somebody that I care about right now.
Get ready, because I've just done a 180. I like this QT Marshall thing all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's like, okay, is he going to turn on his partner? He's just coming out after everybody gets their ass kicked. What's he doing? There's somebody in the back that's going to figure into this that they haven't announced, put out, teased, something like that.
Yeah. Cody's still in a sling, too. Wow.
Cody.
Poor Cody.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about, there's been quite a bit of rumblings and bitching this week about Cody and Brandy and the stuff that they're doing. Okay, Cody's not, how can I put this? Brandy being elevated to where she shouldn't be. Period. Wrestling, that says enough, so she's done. Cody not putting the title on, or not having the world title, and, the younger talents all great and everything. But have you noticed that anytime anybody comes in to AEW, the first one they're fucking attached to in one way, shape, or form is Cody. The only one that's come in that hasn't been is the Big Show. Sting, Shaq, Tyson, Snoop Dogg, everybody's with Cody. That's not a good fucking image. That's not, and wishing back to the 80s, that's not Dusty.
No.
That's not what Cody was taught. I think that's a bad point.
I agree. I think it's bad booking. He's the booker. You don't want them all because everybody coming in is you're going to be part of the Nightmare family apparently next week, right?
Oh, fucking everybody's in there. I think the only faction that has more people than the Nightmare family is the fucking Dork Order.
Yeah, and they're actually linked to them too.
Yeah.
I didn't care about this match. The Lucha Bros and the Laredo Kid against the Young Bucks and Cutler. Somehow Brandon Cutler is still getting the biggest entrance in AEW that nobody doesn't care about. It was just too much for me. Way too much. JR called it a human demolition derby, and that's essentially what it was.
Yep. It was a match. Broke the trend of the two little midget brothers being on the first match. They had been in a couple of weeks.
First time in a long time.
So we got to not start off with shit. We just got to get to the shit.
And the Lucha Bros beat down Omega, essentially at the end. Jade cuts a good promo. I like Jade's promo.
Yeah, she can talk. She's gotten a little bit sharper in the short time from her first one in that. Let's just work on
in-ring.
The in-ring a little bit.
Kingston and Moxley talking to the Bullet Club or the Good Brothers, the whoever the hell they're called this week. By the way, you like my new autograph picture?
Yeah, fuck you.
Whatever, it was what it was. It was just pretty much a montage of them saying, but we talk about Moxley. Moxley's going to be on AEW Elevation tomorrow night. Is that what it's called? Elevation?
Elevation,
yeah.
Yes.
And he's fighting somebody that we know. Do you know this?
Justin Plummer?
No. But he's bigger than Justin Plummer. It's a big time match.
Chad Miller.
Not that big. He's thick. He's big in girth, not size.
Oh. Kali?
Not that great of a wrestler either. Because he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Bill Collier.
And all joking, Bill Collier, you're listening to this, or anybody that might report back to him, fucking congratulations. Somebody in the fantasy league
already booked this. Yeah.
But
again, stealing our shit.
This is a break in, somebody who really deserves it. A good guy, recently, it's been a few months, a parent. This is somebody that deserves it. Go
back and listen to his podcast, Spotlight, that we had with him. The Imagine Heavyweight Champion and the IWC Super Indie Champion, and he deserves... personally, he deserves every title out there. He has put so much work into this business, and he's a humble human being. He really is. So congratulations.
A quiet.
That's pretty much
relatively soft spoken, I guess. Was kind of a soft spoken guy. We're kind of mentioning IWC. What's throw it out for their big? We're all over the place, so it
doesn't matter right now.
IWC, it's Brownsville Drive-In.
April 24th. It's called the Eliminator.
And two people are making another return with a contract in hand.
Are they coming back for that? Did I miss something?
You reported it.
Oh no, I did report it. That yes, we talked about it. That Wardlow and Britt returned last week, and they have taken essentially 4 now. It was Palace is going to Jacksonville. along with Spencer Slade and Cole Carter, all going to be part of AEW Dark at some point. But Collier got thrown in there legit ahead of them and being part of their new show, Elevation. So IWC sending 4 people to AEW in a week.
That
Does it say something about IWC?
Yeah, it. If it doesn't, then you don't understand English.
Or our English, at least.
You know, I mean, outside of Justin Plummer and Jock Sampson, IWC is a good thing. The way Jenny runs the show and,
Lendo helping out.
And Lendo helping out.
In 2-to-1 Media, because we
in
love 2-to-1 Media.
2-to-1 Media. IWC is what Mid-South and the territories were to the NWA. We talked about this. The pandemic is going to hurt, these smaller federations. IWC backed off, still had events to keep fans there, and now things are opening a little bit up. These guys are getting some recognition. And who else is gonna be going to, whether you're wrestling on Dark, Dynamite, Evolution, or Elevation? These guys are getting the exposure. This is how it used to be.
We talked about when John and I broke down the last pay-per-view. We talked about Palace, Slade, Cole, and we brought up Collier, but that's 4. Zoe Sky was on the show, who has wrestled all over the world.
You didn't even hit the tag team.
Right. The main event. They would fit in perfect with legit, and I'm not a big fan of them, but Private Party, or they could work with FTR. They are great. I mean, and we are being homers right now. And I know there's other companies out there like that, but guys, I'm telling you, God damn it, Plumber, here's your cheap pop. If you want to watch a show that is produced major league, and I'm going to use that major league quotes, wrestlers across the board, it's the IWC network. You can watch it $9.99 a month. Go on, subscribe to it and everything. But you're going to see Cesaro, CM Punk, AJ Styles, Christian was there. Al Snow was there. Elias, Britt, Wardlow. Give me another, the Monster.
Adam Cole.
The Monster Factory's also been huge too, but IWC being, you want to say, essentially a indie show, again with my air quotes, they've pumped out major stars.
And major stars have wanted to come through there.
Yeah.
And come in, whether it's from the Night of Champions, guys, Sting, Hurricane, Rikishi,
Mysterio,
the
Hardys,
Duggan, the Hardys. You could go on and on with that. The bigger guys wanted to come through there.
Josh Alexander, which if you don't know who he is from being on Impact or anything, he wants to be, working for Impact. He wants to be on IWC shows because, I hate to say this, he gets more eyes working an IWC show than I bet you he does on Impact.
On Impact, yeah, and you don't get what he can do. Him against Wardlow in the Super Indie tournament.
Yeah,
not this past year. Year before. Holy
Gresham.
Shit, Gresham. Yeah, we got to talk about Ring of Honor at some point too.
Third segment.
IWC's just, the guys just want to be there. It's not a hokey run thing, federation, organization, I should say, like the barroom brawl and shit with the dick guy, or
right,
Axel Rotten, 5 million light tubes bullshit and stuff like that. IWC is a developmental territory
for the bigger
guys, and they're picking one of the top two, one has too much pride to look at IWC, and the other one's just
basking in the glory.
Basking in fucking glory of it. You know, somebody else I'll bring up that wanted to come through who is, to me, one of the top 5 biggest stars in wrestling today and is dominating in Japan, and his exposure came from a short stint in IWC, is Switchblade Jay White.
Yep.
Holy fuck, watch the New Japan and where he's gone now and how he's being featured.
We bust Justin Plummer's ass all the time. We truly mean it when we're busting his ass. Tackleberry, yeah. But besides Plummer, there was Chuck Roberts that did it, and then Norm Connors. Those three have really just kept the pride, reputation, and love for wrestling and love for pushing people to get better. Along with all the trainers of Hentai, LaRusso, DJ Z when he was there,
Vegas.
Palace, Vegas. The list can go on, but if there's a place you want to learn how to wrestle and you're just listening to this, you should probably check out
Kurt Angle.
Yeah, goes there to train.
Look at what, he's like, hey, I want to train with these guys. Help me out.
And he won a freaking gold medal with a broken neck.
Yes.
Did you know that?
A few times.
Back to AEW now that Plummer got his to do. Nyla Rose against Ty Conte. Surprise. I thought they were going to say, all right, here we go. Nyla's going to get another shot, this, that, and the other thing. They put Ty over. Good.
I was shocked, to say the least. Not a Nyla Rose fan at all. I'll just leave it at that. Nothing political or anything like that. Just not a fan of the wrestling. I was shocked to see this, but Ty and her best friend who's out,
Anna
Jay, have really been stepping it up, or have been stepping it up, and I think they deserve the exposure, and not that Nyla Rose. It doesn't hurt. She is one of the ones doesn't need the title to justify, her existence. Get the other talent, develop them. Get rid of Vicky Guerrero though, but
I agree. A couple promos that whatever, but main event was Darby against John Silver. The sad thing is Silver got hurt in this match. He is so, not in stature, huge right now.
Definitely not Austin Theory size and stature.
Right.
Shout out to the English professor there, his favorite Andre the Giant lookalike wrestler.
Right.
Yeah, Silver has just stepped it up. Like you said, unfortunately, he got injured. It's an injury that's going to keep him out for a substantial amount of time.
You need to keep him on air, though.
I think they could. If you see the handshake at the end of the match, the still picture, he can't lift his arm. He can't lift his shoulder. You can see it bulged out on top. That fucking shitty timing. And this still, going off of this, I still have this thought in my head that the lack of house shows, not more necessarily more experience, but the lack of getting out there and wrestling more, I think has been a significant contributor to injuries.
I disagreed with you a
couple of months ago
when we said that, but they're piling up.
And it's not that these things don't happen. It's not that we didn't see these things before when they're wrestling 2 or 3 times a week or more or stuff like that. But they're more common now with less wrestling than they were when there was 2, 3, 4 times wrestling. And this pandemic, this shit needs to fucking end on all things, but on the wrestling side, this is what I think is really hurting, is these guys getting fucking injured like this. And I think you just can't be as crisp.
No.
In anything you do. If you haven't driven for 20 years and you get behind the wheel of a car.
When was the last time you rode a bike?
3 years ago.
Could you jump on it right now and be stable?
Could I stay on the bike without falling over? Yes. Would I look like a fucking silverback gorilla riding a goddamn tricycle?
Grape ape?
I would look worse than that. That motherfucker has long enough arms. When I got on a bike a couple of years ago to use for hunting and scouting purposes,
that's what you're calling
it was bad. I got rid of the bike. But I still knew the basic function. But had I been riding all throughout those years, it would have been nothing.
Your ass hurt, I bet you, after that short
yes,
ride.
very much so. And I got a pretty top of the line fucking mountain bike at the time.
Oh, I thought you were going to say ass.
I've always been a top of the line ass. Wait, that's not what you were talking about. Anyway, but back to the seriousness of it. I think the lack of being able to wrestle multiple times, different people, not, going to the arena hours early and being able to warm up in the ring and, stuff like that. I think it's hurt the wrestlers across the board, from Anna Jay's injury, Silver's now,
Keith
Lee. Yeah, I mean, you could go so many of the freaking injuries. Many, many reasons for the pandemic to end, but wanted to get back to where these guys are able to get out there and get more tighter, get more polished.
I agree
with it.
All right, we're going to get more polished. We're going to take a quick break. Chad's going to tell you watched the ROH pay-per-view, right?
Yes.
All right. I, of course, didn't even know it happened until Chad told me it happened. So we'll come back, talk about that. Any random news that we can chat about. We'll wrap up this fucking shit show in segment 3.
Hey everybody, this is Gilbert, WWF's longest reigning light heavyweight champion. You're listening to Can Crushers Podcast. The best guys there are out there.
Welcome back, Can Crush Nation, and it's I, the Glorious Guru, in studio with Mark the Mark, and we're having to pick up the slack for John the English Professor this week.
Is there usually much slack there to pick up?
Well, quite a bit. I mean, he dumped his longtime crush, Allison Kay. She's devastated. John just, I don't know. He
we don't have anybody eating. We don't have anybody
eating, being served, crackling fucking popcorn, grinding coffee.
We miss him a little bit.
Standing up with his dong in the fucking screen.
And that's why we can never.
And I will say John is below IRS soup.
Yeah.
And he's just barely a step above Pat. And by the way, fuck Pat. He's just right there.
Wow. You haven't blessed Pat in a while.
Yeah. Well, I kind of wanted to give him a break for a little bit, But yeah, fuck Pat.
All right. That's good enough. He's going to actually want royalties pretty soon if we keep bringing his name up, which
I could be talking about any other Pat.
He knows, though.
He thinks he knows.
Ooh, yeah.
We'll confuse the shit out of him, and if that doesn't work, we'll just get, Vince McMahon's lawyer.
Have you ever talked to him in essence? He likes wearing dresses and dancing at the car wash.
Are we talking John or Pat?
So ROH. you watched the ROH pay-per-view. You did tell me it was happening, and I said, I'm going to go have some beers with the guys. I thought, I don't understand why I really took a week off.
This was just one of those ant weeks where nothing was really going on, noteworthy. We knew that there wasn't going to be anything really going on. The ROH thing, I got to confess, I thought was going to be on Saturday night, and it was on Friday night. I love, next to New Japan, ROH is my favorite by far. They had some issues with injuries that kind of affected a little bit of the card, but still, holy fuck, what a pay-per-view. Jay Lethal challenged Roosh for the title. Decent match. Not pay-per-view worthy in my book, but it was a decent match. It was a typical Roosh match. Had some guys come down afterwards because the Foundation, which is Lethal's guys, and Brody King are tired of the numbers game and the bullshit with Roosh and his guys. So we had some guys make their appearance in the match. Not really huge names. Homicide made his return to Ring of Honor. Did not recognize him. Looking really good, really healthy from before, where he was kind of, I want to say a skin and bones more thing. And you remember that guy that was on, that wrestling pay-per-view where they were bringing all different federations in. They had a title tournament. I can't think what the hell it was. They had Aldis on there.
Oh, UPW or something like that? Yeah.
The guy that was a loudmouth, Chris Masters, funny that bring him up, he made his appearance. Holy fuck. Dude put a little bit more out there than we've seen in that tournament before. Great on mic skills, but they made their appearance. Jonathan Gresham, again, the pure title, just continues to show.
So he wrestled twice?
He wrestled twice. No, they lost the tag titles
a
couple of weeks ago. Unfortunately, I can't even remember who the hell won the tag titles. But again, the tag titles switched. It's like the second time in the last month, which sucks. To me, the matches of the night, by far, top 10 matches of the year, was EC3 and Jay Briscoe. Holy fuck. You want to talk about Sheamus and Drew McIntyre? This match without the weapons was as brutal, if not more brutal. EC3, I've never seen this side of him. He took some shit. He got the hell beat out of him. But for those who like the brawling matches and stuff like that, this was a great fucking match. Then the other Briscoe match, my boy, shout out to my brother-in-arms, Flip Gordon, for his win over Jay Briscoe. Flip has gone off of all social media.
I did know that.
And he's a bastard. He is a If you were going to have a mixed tag team of bitch and bastard, it would be Flip and Britt Baker.
Nice.
No offense to what Adam Cole can do, but Flip has more of the asshole look to him when he turns it on. He got kicked out of the Pure division for beating the fuck out of a referee and throwing too many punches. I think they're pushing Flip towards the ROH title. And outside of Gresham in ROH, I can't see anybody that doesn't deserve it. Flip is so good. And guys, when I say Mark knows this, but to those out there, the connection with Flip is he's former military. Also, when we went to the Crockett Cup 2 years ago, he noticed my shirt that I had on. It was a veteran's shirt, and he noticed it and brought, the discussion started, and we talked. what a great fucking guy.
That's what I was going to say. He is a bastard on TV, but a huge, huge was not the word I'm looking for. A wonderful human being. Like, you want to talk about taking time talking with, how many people were at signing? 150? Something like that. He took 20 minutes with 150 guys and just
he was one of the first ones in there and one of the last ones to leave. Like I said, we talked military. He asked me where I'd been, blah, 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 what I'd done, everything. And it wasn't just somebody asking that stuff. It was somebody I got of, hey, I know what you went through. I know where you were. I know this, that. And he made it a point, even Bandito, who was next to him, he made it a point that he knew.
Right.
I'm sorry, Flip Gordon could damn near do no wrong in my book.
Besides pissing on your son.
Besides pissing on my son, and even at that, I might allow that at some point for some money or autographs or something. But yes, that's how bad I am. But great guy,
man crush,
running through ROH, gonna get the world title, and can't see anybody more deserving.
What other news you have? Did you see anything across the old interweb this week?
Not really a lot going on. Guys, gotta, I push this every week. Subscribe to New Japan. Don't let the 999,999 yen price scare you. It's less than $10.
Right.
The G1 tournament kicked off or finished off. Won't spoil the ending to it. Guys, you can't get any better fucking wrestling than this. You'll know some of the names. Watch it. Watch it. It has English commentary. For those of you who aren't who are uneducated, unlike me, who I know quite a bit of Japanese now, from watching the pay-per-views.
Okay.
But it's just wrestling across the board. It's the best that's out there.
Ni hao, by the way.
God bless you.
No, that's hello.
Oh.
So that's how much he knows.
Yeah. Way to expose me there, fucker.
Hey, John was at WrestleMania 1.
Yeah. Yeah, and he dressed as a racist in Halloween one year, too. But, yeah, Ring of Honor, guys, gotta watch it. It's $10. It's worth it.
You said New Japan, but both of them.
Ring of Honor is over there. Sorry, quite a bit often. But New Japan, gotta watch it, guys. $10. Ring of Honor, $10 a month also. You get all their pay-per-views free. One that we gotta talk about.
Well, I was just gonna say, you want to bring up Peacock.
I haven't subscribed to it yet. I've been lazy, but now I'm kind of glad that I haven't. I don't care about the $250 a month for 4 months. Right. It's a few dollars. You're saving me $20-$30.
The WWE Network is officially done.
But Peacock is editing, going through the old content and editing out
what they don't like,
what could be offensive. And okay, I the Steve Austin finger things, Austin 316 says, I just kicked your... Is that necessarily what I'm talking about? I can do without that. It kind of added to it, to the stuff. But they're blood, chair shots, blatant things. They're editing out. That's what I wanted the network for anyway, was to go back in and be able to watch the old shit. How long is it going to take for them, considering WWE is their priority, to get to the Crockett shit, to the Mid-South stuff? The only known existence of the Crockett Cup 86 is on the fucking WWE network. How long is it going to get to that? Because that's not a fucking priority to them.
Right.
And then what I've heard, I can't confirm, but I've seen too many people talk about it. You can't, what content is out there and stuff, you can't pause.
Nope.
And
rewind yet.
You know, we'd like to fast forward through the fucking stuff they're putting now, but you can't do any. Why? Why can't I pause a fucking pay-per-view that I'm watching? At this point, I'm going to what some podcasters do when something comes up that might be noteworthy, a card or something like that, maybe WrestleMania, I'll throw them $10 and that'll be it. I won't watch all this stuff, all the filler pay-per-views. If somebody big is coming back or somebody big is announced and it's something that interests me and stuff like that, I'm kind of on a, I hate to say it, I'm kind of on a pay-per-view basis with them of paying them $10
and then dropping it.
And then fucking dropping it.
Yeah.
And I hate to say that, but what the fuck was Vince thinking doing this? He had to have known.
It's the upfront money is what it. We've said that now for weeks that he's got this guaranteed money and he really doesn't care.
But you're gonna look. How many subscribers are gonna go to this?
I love Peacock right now for what they have.
Not that stuff aside,
right,
might make it worth it to me. But
for the WWE part of it,
for the WWE part of it, it isn't. It isn't worth it to me.
No, if you're just buying it for the WWE part,
you're going to be sadly
huge change from 7 years ago, 8 years ago when it first came out. And here, do whatever you want with our content. Watch it, love it, this, that, and the other thing. Now it's like we'll give you what we want to give.
6 months ago, a couple months ago, you can go in, you can watch, old Mid-South stuff. You can see, holy fuck, they wouldn't get away with that shit, in today's culture and stuff like that, moments and stuff. You're not going to get to see that. If I can't see that kind of stuff, if I can't see the old stuff, the Bobby Heenan's going to be edited, Jesse Ventura is going to be edited.
How long before it's on tape delay? It's not going to be. Essentially, it can be now. There's always that 5 second buffer. Well, there's
the buffer in case something happens. The 5 second.
Right, but they can make that longer, and we wouldn't know.
Yeah, when are they going to start editing? Not that I give a flying fuck, because the current content
can be edited.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Overall, when are they going to start editing the current shit
live? Yeah.
Something odd happens. Like, I remember a couple years ago when Nia Jax potatoed Becky Lynch and fucking Blood Eater. That was an oh shit moment. That helped Becky Lynch. Fuck you. She still wrestled and was up fucking throwing the snot and blood off and everything.
Right, onto the crowd.
Something, what was it, 2 years ago when Beth Phoenix was in the Women's Royal Rumble and got shot too far backwards and smacked her head off of the ring post and was bleeding. Little things like that. Not necessarily the blood, but things happening that
aren't planned.
That you, holy shit, that kind of keep our faith from totally dropping, out to, holy shit, things are going to happen. We're going to get, are we going to get a Sesame Street version of fucking wrestling? It's bad enough that it is the way it is now.
Right.
But now we're going to get a watered down version of this?
We're PG right now. Are we going to go to G? Or Y for youth or whatever the hell. I mean, I don't know if it's PG or whatever. Yeah.
Well, anything
else? I got nothing else.
We got the fuck Pats in.
Yep.
Jock Sampson, you're a fat bastard. And like I said, buddy, on the IWC network, I said this about you. I said, you have the best face there is in IWC for radio. You do not have a face for television. So therefore, we don't want you on any channel.
None. All right, well, let's...
we do have... There is one thing we do have to say. Going back down to the serious part after we've had kind of a fun shit show here. Our thoughts, prayers, condolences, anything we can do go out to Nick Lendl and his family. His mother passed away unexpectedly this week. And as a type of family that they are, this has crushed everybody from Nick and the kids, to his father. Nick is a great guy.
We bust his ass all the time, too.
We bust him on him, the talent that he displayed, where he's gone in the business, where he's going to go into business, but it all takes a back seat when you experience loss like this. If there's anything,
reach out.
Reach out. Don't care what it is. Don't, time of night, anything like that. But I think I can say on behalf of all of us here at Can Crushers, especially Mark and I, who lost our mothers. We understand what you're going through. Our heart goes out to you, and brother, if we were there, we'd probably give you a big hug and shed a lot of tears. But you're with us. Your mom is with us in our thoughts and prayers, and we just can't say it enough. We're so sorry, Nick.
Yeah, I love you, buddy. You reached out to me when my mom passed a couple years ago, so I'm there. I reached out already, and you know where I am. But yeah, guys, keep the Lendl family in your thoughts and prayers this week. And remember, Chad, just because you're trash, it doesn't mean you can't do great things.
It's called a garbage can, not a garbage cannot.